Very well. In the follow-up, as we noticed, we saw how we can design these items and analyze them. Now we are going to design a payment page. The difference is when we click on the country key, a sliding menu is going to show up and the user can open and choose the items that he is looking for. From this payment page, I make a copy, I set it here, and design the items based on my needs. Well, I don't need these. The fonts related to the payments is changed. Okay. What I am looking for, I set this like that. Yeah, semi-bold, and the color would be set as this. Okay. And now we are going to have this page here. We have card number, expire. Think of these as a payment gate where we do the operations by hitting the apply button. So here, that's what I do. I have an item up there based on the pages with these certain colorings. We are not going to have something identical to what has been designed here. So what I do is to set this like that, and the border is deleted. It is set at 25 and I zoom in, and the items related to it would be designed. So here what we do, we are going to have 4 items here, card number, like that. Again, I set a copy here. Both of them are set at the center. And I make a copy from these. The difference is that these need to be a bit smaller. Like that. I delete their border. Like that. I have these 4 here. I am going to perform an operation. I give it the value of 10. And that's how these two are set. We need to set the fill sections separately. Okay, from here I make a copy to take care of the problem. I go back to where we were to see what I have. If I have card number, expire, what I do is from payment, I make a copy and set it here. The word payment is changed in phone to regular. The size is reduced to 20, and this one is set here. In fact, here I set it there. Card number. Okay. It is a bit large. I reduce the size to 14. Okay, the opacity is reduced like that. Yeah. So that we can have the item. I'm going to give it a color. Each color that we like. We can apply it here, but you should know that we can't just give it any color. We need to give a color that suits our purpose best. Again, I make a copy, set it here, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, Let's see, that's up to here. I set the opacity at 100 to see how we can design it. The next item is expire. I copy and paste it like that, and expire is set over here, exactly here with this space. Okay. 5i month, and here need to be set here, and the user should enter them. The next option is the name. The name is going to be like this. Okay. The next option, yeah, in fact, I say payment name John Lee would be the name, and CPC, I use this one. Okay, just like that, CBC. Okay, let's see what we got, and I said this here. This is the page for the first operation that we have. Alrighty, I reduced the round corners so that we have a bigger space. Okay, very well. Now this country is increased along with city and these two, so that we aren't going to need any more options. And in order to speed things up, designing this is very easy. As you can see, it is much easier than we imagine. I don't need this, and the country, I'm going to have it like this, but let us design it by ourselves in order to know how they are. So from here, okay, I choose these border is deleted. I give it 25, and of course 25 is a bit too much, so I give it number 20. And now let's see, I want to design the direction here. This is an icon, yeah. Here I use the paint tool like that. Yep, quite easily we can design such an item like that. Triangle, so I use this icon. I just wanted to show how it's done. The job, as you can see, is now complete. Okay, I set it over here like that. Imagine I say your card. Your card, yeah, I set it here. And finally, the button that is going to contain cancel and apply, I used these two and set it on this page. And set the apply and cancel up. Okay. I do the alignment. Take care of the alignment like that, apply it, and last button that we have, cancel. Yep, and that's how it is. Now imagine when the user clicks on this option, he's going to have a sliding list quite easily. In fact, again, I make a copy and set it over here like that. I zoom in. Here, of course, you should know the pointer needs to be down when it is clicked. When it is clicked, it should point out. In its normal state, it should be like this. It should point upward, so that as soon as the user clicks here, it would go back down. So what we need to do is to set this here and the list that we have here, and this list could contain many more items, but we are just going to set a limited number of items. From here I make a copy and paste it here. Let's see. I set it over here, and from this one again I make another copy and paste and set it here. Imagine we have 3 items here. From these 3 items I only want to use 1. Okay, very well. We go to the prototype section. When we click on the flash sign, these items need to be shown to us like that. When we click on this, it should be shown to us. So quite easily I play this to see how it works, how it is. Now if I click on it, then the list needs to be closed. So finally I go back and let's see. Like that. Now we can give it other formats. Imagine we have set it here. We have set it on this section. Here I am going to use a transition that opens the items from the lower section. Okay, like that. As you see, all images is occurring from the top, but usually the auto animate has solved the problem like this by clicking on this section. You will be able to see the transition in a much more exciting manner. So I save it here and again play them. Let's see how they are. Very well. So up to here, what we have done is to set the payment page based on our taste, and we design it. Well, up to here we notice how we can design the objects and the items based on our tastes and the specialties and incorporate them on our projects. That's what we have up to here. Okay, now I am going to see which other pages we can design in order to make things more exciting and have access to more items. Now on this page we have designed the payment section, the page to get us started, discover, and sign in and sign up, plus some personal settings on each one, has been set up, as you can see, but on other pages there's nothing special, nothing extraordinary. Of course, we have already designed a welcome, but on this page our welcome has used the object blur technique, where we can blur it so that we could add some more characteristics to it. And here there is nothing special. They enter your number pages like the payment page. The difference being that here, in fact, it is for registering when you want to enter your information and enter your phone number or your country of origin, so that you can do the registration. Now I want to join the pages that I have designed using prototype. These pages that are here, splash, which goes to get a start with its auto animate active button. By hitting the back button, I return to this page. When I hit next, this page opens up for me, and when I choose continue, I enter sign in and sign out, like that. Here I choose this, just like that, and this page contains the items that are necessary for it. But how can we have this page designed? Here I can design another page and join it to this one. Okay, so that when the user is done with the designing, he will choose this page, that is the welcome page. And after this, instead of next, we choose the word pay, so that we can finally open this page and do the payment process. That is, get done with the payment, get started with the payment process. Okay, now up to here I save whatever has been designed, and then design the welcome page, so that I have already chosen for it. So I copy and paste the welcome page and set it over here. Of course, we need to arrange the settings. I am going to take care of it later on. So at first, we move the items that we are looking for to a different section. Here I move them like that. This page, sky as well, and I move this page here, and now this one needs to be moved over there. Okay, let's see how the prototype is. This one needs to be set over here. The pages that we are looking for, they need to be set here. Okay, and one needs to be set here. We are going to leave these two items alone. Leave them alone. Okay, I set them here, and finally the welcome page that needs to be set over here. Okay, I save so that nothing would be lost. Very well. Now what I want to do here is to make the welcome page and join it to the payment page. So I copy and paste the welcome page, set it over here, and apply some changes. I don't want the differences to be identical with the original. I want it to look like this page. So I delete it and copy and paste this and set it over here. Okay, I start doing the job. Alright, we start the work. Here I can set the picture here, but I reduce the size. And I can even make the corners round like that. And I can set it exactly here on this one. Like that. And the one under can be moved a bit. I can have it like that. If I want to have the object blur here, it won't become exciting, but if we do the background blur or make the background blur, that is set this one like that and set the amount here and set the brightness at 0 like that. If I give the color yellow to it and set the opacity at 60, and the items that are similar to welcome from payment or your card. So I make a copy and set them here at the center. The size is changed to 3, 5, and I say 35 and I say welcome. This one is set on the medium so that I can have the items, and finally I can set this item here as the copy and paste so that I can speed up the work. Okay, like that. And this one, but the color would be changed to a darker one, black, like that. I use this button, set it over here. Okay, and here, let's see, I say pay. This pay is going to join the payment page. Okay, I delete the welcome page. And finally, again, I move the pages a bit to get here. Very well. So what I do here is I analyze the prototype. This is our splash page. The splash enters this one and it said on continue. As soon as we hit continue, it enters sign in. But this page needs to be set like that. If we choose this now these are interrelated, and now on this page we can, when we are done with the login process, the login would be set on this page. We pass this page to it. To the auto animate is the same, and pay button is set on this option, and even when we hit cancel like that, the cancel is going to return to this page. The welcome page that is here, the sign in and the sign out page here, I apply some changes. The word sign in, yeah, like that. I change the font to, yeah, let me copy and paste this over here like that. I set it as medium. Okay, and sign in. and sign out like that. Alright, this one is the same. Now the buttons for sign in and sign out need to be referred to their own page. That is, if the user comes over here, then it needs to be referred to sign in page. And if he hits the sign up, it needs to go to this page. We need to do one more thing. We need to have the back button for back. So we use this flash. The flash that is used as a component here. I can set the flash over here like that. Or the right thing to do is to set it up there. But let's see, I set them down a bit. And this one as well on top. Yep. Or I can use the word back. Let us use the word back. It would be much better. Okay, we have the word back here, so I copy it and I set it on this page. Okay, like that. Or I can set it down there. Yeah, right there. Alright, like that. And finally, when we hit back, here it goes to the welcome to the navigator page, just like we had before. When I hit back, this page needs to be returned, and if I hit this one, it is the same process is going on. Okay, I run to see how things work. I play it. So we have the welcome page. When I click, now this page should not play. The login page needs to play instead. Again, I play it. When I hit signing, it enters this page like that. Okay, sign up, sign in, like that, back. Now this one is the same. Okay, login is done here. Now we are going to have the payment page. We were supposed to have these pages run in order that is in welcome, the word continued with we can refer it to this page. Again, we play to see how it is. Okay, the word continue, sign in, log in, back. Yep, very well. That's up to here. Now we are going to have these pages under continue. This page has opened for me. And finally, instead of login, we have this page run for you. Okay. Very well. This login points out the welcome, and pay refers to the payment page. So as a result, we play it again to see how things work. Sign in, sign up like that, log in back. Okay, here it didn't run. Let's see where the problem is. Yeah, we need to click on the button itself. It shows this page to us, but this button needs to show this. Let's analyze this from here onward. Yeah, so I need to click on that page once more, sign in, log in, and finally it is moved to here. When I hit pay, this page opens up for me. I have the items, and now imagine I want to choose this item. As soon as it has been chosen, I hit the pay button and the successful page is being shown. So again, I go back, I go to this page, I make a copy from this like that so that I can design the successful page. Okay, very well. I don't want these items. Okay, of course I need to design 2 pages. We set 2 pages when this item has been chosen. I want to set some buttons in it so that when I click on it, that button would be checked, showing me that item has been chosen. So I set some radios like that. I don't want it to have borders, and just a little bit of the color like this. We give it the border. But we can have it like this so that it would have a more exciting view. I set this at the center like that, and now this one is set over here. I copy and paste this. Okay, like that. So that when the user clicks on this item, the color would change to yellow, and this button and the radio section would be filled with the yellow color, showing the chosen state. Let me clean this. Okay, and this one too, and from here copy and set it over here. Now we say this item is dark, it shows it has been chosen, and the frame itself, we can change it like that. Alright, and of course this one, you can have it like that. That is, the white color is chosen like this, meaning it has been chosen, and when it is chosen, now the next item here, we don't have this page. Instead of this frame, we are going to have information instead of your card. So I delete this and I set this information here. Okay, here copy, paste, and this item is deleted, and paste it here. Set inside this. Okay, I delete these. I said it's fill as green, or the yellow color would be much better. We should get rid of the flat format as well. So here it has been chosen. Now all these pages are connected. When this item is chosen, it refers to this page, and finally, as it is chosen, there we can include the rest of the items. Very well, that's up to here. Now we need to change the button for pay. Okay, here I set it here. I set it at the center. As soon as the payment is done, the successful page would be shown to the user. Let's check the work up to here and see if the job is done. Okay, they said when we choose this item needs to change to this color. So I choose the prototype section and make it like this. And when it is chosen, as soon as I click on this needs to be shown to me. Very well, I play the payment. This item is changed like that. If I choose this would be like that. And when apply is hit, this page needs to be shown to me. So I delete this, and when I click on the apply, this page needs to be shown to me. So I play it again. Again, I analyze my items, apply, and here, and now pay. As soon as I hit pay, the payment needs to be done, and successfully would be shown to me. Okay, so again I make a copy, and from this, with a subtle difference, these items will be completely deleted. I go to the design mode, and this item is removed. Okay, set here and the pay button, and here I say okay. Alright, and now I don't have this page anymore. Instead, I need to choose all the items one by one. Okay, I move these to the center of the page. The color would be set as green. Okay, meaning successful. Yeah, and okay, I have here is set over here, meaning pay is successful. The color is changed to white. And this one would be set at the center so that I would know what I am doing. Very well, that's up to you. If you agree, we get on with the rest of the job later on. Very well, up to here we have been able to take care of the job related to the setting up of the page, and the items have been designed and incorporated on our project. Okay, something that needs to be discussed here is that it may occur to you that where are we going to use these files after they have been designed? Where are they going to be used, and how are we going to use them? Usually people who are involved in web designing and application designing have come to the conclusion that while working with the user interface, they need to change them to codes. You need to know that any applicable design, that is any design that can be applied or turned into a coded program, its user interface is not that difficult, and using different programming techniques you will be able to set up all these user interfaces. But regarding the topic, to be more technical, using two code sources we can make the user interfaces applicable or turn them into programs. How? Imagine you're working for a firm, a programming firm, and you want to set up such an interface, and after this interface has been designed, it is going to be referred to the backend or programming section, and when you're working on the programming of that application, which has been designed by Adobe XD and now is ready to be turned into a coded program, you need to become a programmer as well. Most companies using such softwares as JavaScript are able to change their design projects into applicable projects that can be used by the users, that is, into viable applications. But it's been some years since different frameworks and packages have been designed for programming of web and mobile applications. For instance, we can name the Microsoft applications. It's been a few years since Microsoft has been working with a platform called Xamarin, so that using .NET, CS Sharp, or BB, you would be able to have different application outcomes. That is, using C Sharp and .NET, you would be able to design an Android app and simultaneously get different outputs for Android and iOS systems. Simultaneously, a lot of companies have been investing in the same manner and fashion, using the same techniques, and in all of these companies, or some of these companies, are really successful. Microsoft still has its own developmental platform. It is still doing its updates and adding certain items, and is keen on the nativity of the codes and outputs. On the other side, companies such as Facebook have a framework called React Native. They have come up with a React Native. Using React Native, you would be able to design really professional and exciting applications, and all the designs that we have set up to here can easily be turned into applications using React Native, and the technologies included in the React Native can be incorporated in designing them. And regarding React Native, using some sign languages such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you would be able to provide your apps for different platforms such as Android and others. And this is the biggest, I would even call it a miracle. The reason is that within the last few years, Many of those who have been working in the mobile programming section had to learn JavaScript language in order to design the user interfaces. They needed to use XML, but with the advent of React Native, this item has manifested itself quite powerfully, taking care of those designing sections and found this ground and platform so that those who have been working in the web designing HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, etc. now are able to use React Native to design apps for mobiles, and simultaneously they are able to use interfaces, change the user interface to backend languages such as PHP, .NET or other languages, Python or anything. It can easily connect to them and result in an Android app. I can give you a very good example here. Many of those who are working on this field, there is this very powerful app that they have been using, that millions of people, as a matter of fact, are using right now, and that is the Instagram application. This application has been designed using the React Native technology, and it is one of the most powerful, and up to now 129 versions of this app have been released for the public use, and they have been updated, and each day new items are being added to this application. And I am not going to talk to you about React Native programming, but I'm going to make you a little acquainted with it so that you will be able to use this React Native on your projects. Imagine you have designed such a user interface in Adobe XD. All the pages have been designed one by one. When you have finalized and confirmed everything, now you would be ready to give these items one by one to the coding section of your company so that they can do the programming job. Well, in order to do this, you're going to need two items, two softwares. The first one is the Visual Studio Code. This is an editor, not necessarily Visual Studio Code. Your editor could be WebStore, it could be Notepad++, it could be any other powerful editor available. Here we believe that we should not be bent on any software, any specific software, because any framework, any software has its own advantages and special features, and we cannot be prejudiced towards one application over the other. But the important point here is how we can choose the best and simplest one. In all these languages, there are some editors that make things really easy, and in my view, in all of these, the Microsoft software Visual Studio is probably the most powerful and much more simpler compared to the others. Of course, this doesn't mean that this software doesn't have any flaws or problems. No, there are no softwares up to now, as I know, that are free of bugs. All of them have lots of bugs that have been and are being rectified over the years using the user experience, and they have been able to remove the crashings and the reasons behind them so that they would be able to use the app in a much more efficient way. For instance, the Adobe XD that we are using here in the 24 onward, there is this strange bug that makes the app crash here in the fill section when you use gradient fill, As soon as we choose the color, the software crashes and it asks me to send this message or report to the support section of the Adobe Experience website. And you need to be sure that no software is without bugs and free from problems, and you need to be sure and have no doubt that there is this kind of bugs in all of them that are detected over the time by users and rectified through newer and updated versions to the users that are using the software, and they start taking care of their problems. So here I just want to show you how to work with frameworks very briefly, so that if you wanted to use them, you need to know there are various resources within the web where you can do some researches. But if you were able to use references, which is much better, because reference covers different areas and you need to spend some time on it so that you would be able to use them more efficiently. And beside this, there are still many people who believe that if you're working with Java or Google softwares for developing Android, they are really prejudiced in using those softwares, and many people are like that. But I suggest you not to be prejudiced or have any specific inclinations. When the technology is getting updated, it means it is making things easier, and programmers are able to use better versions, and finally you will be able to write the code natively to the app that you want. And within the programming world is such a fascinating aspect of the job. You can never be sure and prejudiced toward a certain platform. The reason is, up to that time you needed to use Mac when you wanted to develop iOS or iPhone and use Xcode engineering, and needed to pay a lot of money for the hardware, especially if you're a citizen in poor nations. But with the advent of a technology such as React Native, things have been revolutionized. This issue has been much more simplified, and it is a really great miracle within the Android produced softwares, because you no longer need Mac operating systems. Using simple emulators, different emulators that can be set up on Windows operating systems, you can easily take care of all the parts of the jobs and get the final product and provide them to your final and end users. Here I am going to go to the React Native page and see how we can use this technology in our iOS or Android apps designings. We will, as you see, the React Native website over here, which can be accessed through the address facebook.github.io/react-native. It is the website address. By entering this website, you will be able to see all the items that you may have on your mind and may find necessary. This technology is a cross-platform technology that you can use with different operating systems such as desktop, web, and mobile. Interesting point here that can be mentioned is that here we have a list of the applications that have been developed using React Native technology, and the biggest supporter of this technology being Facebook. With its logo, Facebook is behind this software, and since 2018 it has been supporting this technology, and you will be able to design your own specific Android softwares on Android, iOS, and various other platforms using this app being React Native. and develop them. As you can see here, using these items, the instructions that has been provided here, using these instructions you can design a new React Native project, and you can move it to the Visual Studio Code or any editor of your choice, so that you will be able to take care of the job. But we go to the React Native document to see how it is. I click on doc so that I can enter the items that I have, the item that I am looking for. Okay, the page for docs of the React Native has been opened for me, and as you can see, we are able to and are capable of acting in two ways and start a job. First, we need a series of packages to be installed in our operating systems. In fact, React Native using the Node.js web server sets up its projects, and you can have them on your Mac or Windows operating systems. So there are some pre-requirements. The first one is in the installation of the Node.js software. You can download it on nodejs.org. And its or long-term supports version needs to be installed so that you can have them on your system using a Node.js web server. And 2 points that need to be mentioned: the topics Expo CLI and React Native CLIS are 2 completely separate topics. Using Expo, which is a web server that Facebook is developing and supporting, when you want to run your own projects and take care of the many items that are contained in it. You used to have Android Studio or the emulator for Android Studio to show your project, but using the emulator that is usually using an emulator requires very powerful systems. That is, if you want to run it on a system with a 4 gig RAM and weaker CPUs, you will surely run into problems. But in fact, what they did was, even before the advent of Expo, you could, using an emulator, you could run your own project and see your own outcomes on the web, let's say, search engine. Editing your projects on editors such as Visual Studio Code simultaneously, you are able to see the output of your work, but it has to be used. You needed to do certain things and configurations on NOx player. You need to add some configurations using the IP on your systems in order to set them up so that it can run your app and you were able to see it. But with the advent of the Expo, this problem has been thoroughly solved, and you can see the entire output of your project on a web engine. Imagine the browser that I have opened here. You can see the output here. So it has exponentially sped up the project of application designing. You don't need anything. Of course, there might be some obstacles and problems regarding restrictions that you might be facing in your country of origin, but as far as I know, there are no significant challenges to using the Expo method up to now. You can easily use it and incorporate it in your designings. I have not faced any specific problems over the years of my experience. You still need some pre-requirements. You need to have the JDK of Java installed on your system and download the settings for the JDK using environment value able on your Windows control panel. It could be 10 or 7. I prefer 10 for this job. There you need to have this activated, and again I point out the fact that here we are not going to have a React Native course. I just want to let you know how these items are going to work. And using this command we can download the packages for React Native and install them on the system. When we have installed them through Expo init or initialize, Awesome Project is a random name. You can choose any other name that you want for your project, and as soon as this command is entered, all those actions and those packages with a volume of about 300 megabytes would be downloaded on your system, and after that, using the npm start, you will be able to see your own project in the Expo platform. But regarding React Native CLI, if you are using the Windows developmental platform, you're going to need these three. That is, a series of requirements need to be installed on your system. Here, in fact, you need JDK, and besides it, you're going to need Python 2. And if you don't have these items in your system, you will be able to have your accessibility through the command prompt of the Windows. Using the command prompt of Windows through Open and Administrator. When you right click, you need to have the Administrator option in the folder that you have. Then from there, open command prompt, then copy and paste this command there, so that you would be able to install the dependencies of Node, Python, and JDK. After that, you're going to need Android Studio, which is for the development of Android applications. That is, this page is for the development of Android projects, and it is showing its own specific items. You need to have Android Studio installed on your system, and you are going to need these 4 items. First, you are going to need Android SDK, and after that, the platform for Android. And the most important is that on the CPUs that are designed for Intel, to have this item installed. For the CPUs that use the LMB company, there is a help here that gives you instructions on what to do, and it is designed so that the word HAXM, this is a hyper virtualization that's on your system. Using the BIOS of your motherboard, you need to turn the disable option to enable, so that you would be able to have the settings for virtualization installed on your system. And finally, Android virtual device, you need to have a device installed on your system through the Android Studio, and I suggest you preferably use Expo CLI, because the Expo CLI does not need any special dependencies. It can be easily installed. You can perform your project and take care of its details, but I've give you the initial instructions so that you get to know how it works. Now, development OS has been set on Windows, and if your target is Android, these items are taken into account. And after you have installed these items, it's Android. In order to work with React Native, you need to make sure that you check the Android sticky of Android Pie or 9. And there are some requirements that we need to have here. you need to have installed Android SDK of platform 28, and these two items need to be checked in the configuration section of the Android SDK so that you will be able to use React Native on your system. The third point is that using this phrase Android Home and the variable that I talked about on your Windows 10 operating system, you need to have it here, and here you have the address, so that through the security on the Windows control panel you can have access to this page. And there are two input parameters. First, there is the variable name that needs to have been entered with your system. You have installed the SDK of the Android on your system, and by hitting the OK button you can access your final settings. And when you have done so, then there comes the turn for this item, that is the platform tools that need to be installed on the environment variable, just like this. So these items are the options that need to be installed on your system regarding the dependency of the Android. And finally, the last step is to make a new application using the editor of your choice. You need to enter this command, react-native dash, click the packages of React Native will be installed on your system. Even if you are entering through Expo, you are going to need those packages, and React Native is the same, of course, for React-native-CLI needs to have its packages that have already been installed using the word npx and Node.js that has been installed on your system. It is going to make your project with the name of your choice, or initialize, and you can even here have different versions. The versions that we have here is the 61 version. You can have access to previous versions as well, and as you can see on this page, using your physical device, that is your tablet or cell phone, even through a tablet or cell phone, even through a USB device, you can even connect your phone and test the apps as a real app on your cell phone. You can even do it through virtual devices, that is using Android Studio on your system along with SDK, because the SDK of Android Studio usually is used and necessary. If you want to download the entire SDK, you need to have a space of about 50 to 60 gigabytes so that you can install new or older APIs as well. And I suggest you, if you're going to start working and start to learn this course, you can take care of this through Expo, and there will be no special problems. And when your React Native has been activated through React-native-CLI, you will have such a page. That is, if you load it through the Android Studio emulator, you will be able to have this, and using this page you are going to have your application shown the way it works. There are some settings over here. Imagine the first page that you make on the React Native is app.js. In this app.js you will have access to all these items. You can do a lot of settings, delete them, or you can run them. And even if you reload your page using the key R on your keyboard, you will be able to do that, so that you will be able to see the pages of your projects, and if there is an issue with them, the pages will be refreshed anew, so that you can see the page. So here we try to explain some items related to working with React Native. And our purpose was not to develop React Native. Our purpose was to familiarize you on how to install and configure React Native on your system. And you need to take into account the fact that as the technology is developing each year, it does not equal the former ones have been annulled. It just means that things have become more simplified for the programmers and those who are interested in these topics. I hope you will have great luck and be victorious. Good luck.